We've got some fresh new young talent doing some things that I know you haven't heard before.
1, 2, 3, listen.
I like just like the echo.
Isn't it cool? Like well, you can also kind of dictate if you're too far.
Yeah. Out of body experience.
Yeah. That's all good.
All right. I always wanted to do this, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Where are you coasting from this evening? Thank you.
All right.
It's kind of cool hearing yourself right through this.
Alyssa, thank you so much for calling in.
You just kind of want to bring it down.
And they play that same Jesse McCartney song.
Always know.
I don't want just a pretty face. And then they don't actually play the song, and I get upset every time. I love that song.
Man, I love Jesse McCartney. What happened to him making music? That used to be hot back in like 2006. He was so good.
He was.
I don't think he's singing.
I used to rush home to watch Summerland when I was.
Oh my gosh, Summerland. That's old school.
Says a lot.
Show my age, please.
I have to leave. I've said too much already.
Oh no, I was doing something on my own little world over here. I was trying to get around this without. So we're recording there. We're recording here, and I double checked the cameras, so we should be.
Somehow you figured out how to wear headphones and still have your hair look great.
Really?
It's not something everyone can do.
Thank you.
Like Whitney Houston, and that's it.
I really appreciate you.
So you're pulling it out.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Done.
And you can come decorate my house when you're done too. When
done, son, done. Well, guys, we're live, right?
Oh yeah, we've been live for a while. We'll see what time we ended
That's
up.
Fantastic.
So you
did not
like,
tell us
behind
that.
the scenes for a while. Yeah, welcome to the Freddie and Alyssa show. Freddie here, and my beautiful better half, Alyssa.
Troy.
And Troy. No.
And Alyssa.
And Alyssa.
No, guys, we have a really, really special friend of mine. I mean, oh gosh, long time friend.
That means a
actor, incredible individual, special person, Troy Hatt.
Yes.
In the building. The energy between you two. Troy and I, this is the first time we've met in person.
Yeah. But I'm very comfortable.
And you're very comfortable.
I'm not just saying that.
Good.
Oh, okay, cool.
Good.
I have a tone, and sometimes it doesn't read correctly, but I'm that's excited as I...
No, I love that, and I just heard so many amazing things about you, and the energy that you two, as soon as you came together, you could just see the friendship and the... So I'm just so excited to get to know you on the air right now, and...
Well, this is what's really crazy. So we met, I think, maybe in 2007?
Oh, definitely 2008.
2008.
Where'd you meet?
You are wrong.
Well, because you moved here from Canada.
Yeah, in 2008. And that's how I know.
Wow.
That's how I know.
2008. So you moved to LA for acting, entertainment.
Yes, I had a job opportunity.
Awesome.
I auditioned for a film through a self-tape. Believe it or not, those self-tapes can lead somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was an audition that came in on a Friday, at like 7. So you're just like not really paying attention that you've already started your weekend. And it was like, oh, we need this mixed race, kind of like boyish looking, needs to love the movie Dead Poets Society and Stand By Me. And it was like everything was clicking. And so I sent out my audition a couple days later. And they flew me to LA, where I met Jerome Elston Scott.
Wow.
And that's how I ended up meeting you through that film.
Isn't that crazy? Oh
yeah, so they flew me to LA, and I was already in love with Los Angeles because when I was 11 years old, I came to Universal Studios, and I was already in love with the movie Back to the Future. And they had this special effects show, and my dad got to be Doc Brown, like trying to put the chords together on the clock tower, whatever that was. And then I got to sit in the DeLorean. I had to kiss this woman who I didn't know. She was somebody's mom in the audience and pretend while the windshield wipers were going. My sister was doing the special effects scream and stuff like that. And it was like, I need to be here.
Yes.
And then literally like 10 years later, I was living in Los Angeles.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
10's a magic number for sure.
I love the whole self-tape thing for all the actors. We all, that's, but
It can happen.
Feel like, but I feel like nowadays it's becoming, I just think it was more of a pain before, like, now you can just put a cell phone up or an iPad and like knock it out. But back in the day, I remember having to set up all this stuff, and but I think it might go to self-tape. I was kind of hoping it would.
Well, you kind of, I see things at least sometimes in ads on Facebook that some of these actors are booking stuff through that. I don't know. I
think there's platforms where you can just submit the tape, and then if you get called in, like that's ideal.
Oh,
so you
fair
don't have
enough,
to drive all the way prepared. And you walk in and like, oh, you're
so
not
for that
right.
first pre-read or something like that.
Yeah, just so
it makes sense. Like we like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Let's go from there.
Yeah,
that makes more sense. That makes more sense.
You've heard it
It's
now,
not about how
casting.
many people are listening. It's who's listening. That makes more sense.
Yeah. We know what's up.
But what a waste of time, though, for a lot of people driving, commuting, just going in a meeting. If you can tell someone's vibe just from a video, 30-second clip of you, they're going to go, I like that energy, or this isn't what this is.
It's going to be less traffic Instagrams. It's going to be a whole
Totally.
new world.
Yes, yes.
But why don't they do that? I wonder if it just wasn't doable 10, 20, 30 years ago. It was you had to be you had to maybe
We get caught up in that routine.
Yeah.
And you don't go like, well, why hasn't anyone thought of someone's probably already thought about that, so what's the point? And every invention comes from somebody who goes, maybe it hasn't been thought of.
But think about it too. Back in the day, people used to have submissions. You'd have to mail in a headshot, and then eventually it was electronic, right? And then now it's self-tape.
So it's probably going to come, and do that.
Hopefully.
And now if you don't have a headshot with you, they want one. And if you do have a headshot with you,
They
don't need it.
No, they're
Yes.
like, no, we're good.
I just went to an audition recently.
Tell me.
And I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot my headshot. And you know where it is. It's always like, it's sitting on the table.
Yeah,
you know exactly where it is.
of course.
Well, there was a print shop right next door. And I'm like, I have to get this headshot printed because if I don't have one, they're going to ask for it. So I go in and get it printed. I'm all flustered trying to run lines while it's being printed. And then I go in there. Honey, we don't need that. Oh, right.
Yeah, okay.
No, I
Good,
did
good.
though.
Glad.
Because if I didn't do it,
Of
you would have
course.
asked for it.
Always works for that.
That's so crazy.
My gosh.
How's the audition year been going? Like, what is there? Are you going
This
out a
year,
lot?
something
Like,
just clicked.
Yeah.
And I always ask actors this question, especially if they're feeling flustered or lost, because I'm trying to clock how I'm getting where I'm getting, because I've gotten a lot more opportunities this year. And so when the opportunities are coming, I go, I know how I did it, guys. So like, and a lot of actors are used to kind of the process of holding it tightly, like having food that nobody has and like keeping some in their purse and like keeping it to themselves, right?
Right.
But it's okay to share it. It's okay to share the information because we're not here to compete. Everyone's on their own journey,
Totally.
right? What were we talking about?
So what clicked for you then? What was
yeah,
it
like
that...
what's
Oh,
been
so
clicking
I
that you've
asked-
been going out a lot and working
I
a lot
asked,
and-
I'm going to do that a lot, by the way.
Perfect, no, it's all good.
I asked actors, why did you get into acting, get into acting to begin with?
Yeah.
What was it? And, you know, because in LA, you get so caught up in attaining. I want an agent, I want a manager. And I go, or do you want an agent and manager, or do you want really good roles and stories that you can tell that are kind of perfectly written for you? Mm-hmm. And so I asked them, what did you get into acting for to begin with? And they go, well, I really wanted, like, it was fun. And I'm like, you know, what's the core? What's the core of it that you wanted to get into it? Because the awareness unlocks everything.
That's so true.
And so when they go, well, when I was 8 years old, and I'm getting chills as I talk about it, right? When I was 8 years old, I saw somebody on TV and I said, I want to do that because they made me laugh and I want to make people laugh. And as they're talking, you see that bubble open up and I go, you're going to be fine now.
Yeah.
Because the awareness unlocks everything. Now, whatever you take from this, wherever you go from there, it's going to be a lot better no matter what. Doesn't matter. It doesn't mean it's going to happen right away because I say the vision comes first and then everything else comes after it. The timing is not something we control.
Yeah, that's so on the note of the law of attraction, though. I'm such
100%.
a firm believer in it, and everything that I do. And sometimes, I'll do affirmations in the morning out loud. I'm like, "Come on, babe, do it with me, and like he totally will.
What's the process? Tell me what the process is when you say affirmations out loud.
Basically just speaking into the universe, whatever it is that I want. You know,
Yeah.
that's from being healthy to like, I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm killing it. Whatever my vision, my goal is, I say it in the vein of I already have it. And it makes me just feel like I'm on top of the world, A. So once I'm done with my affirmations, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to rock my day, you know? You can't
I'm gonna take a nap because I already have it. So tired from already having it.
But you honestly, you can't help but smile once you say this out loud and you do it loud and you have fun. You're literally grinning ear to ear.
You're turning your
and-
frequency right up top notch.
And
Absolutely.
I notice once I walk out of the house after I do that, just the energy of the world is badass. It's always on point. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Conspiring to help you.
You do. We do it in the car sometimes where we'll like do it like really loud.
See, that's what you should be doing in
and
traffic
you're just
instead
like,
of Instagramming about how much you hate it.
Yes.
I am happy. I am grateful. I have a flourishing business, or I have an amazing career. I have an amazing family. Then you like do the affirmations, and she's more external. Like I feel like you do it a lot more like out loud. I just have this internal clock for me that I just always have. Not a clock, but it's just internally. I'm always cranking towards like I got to move forward. I got to win. I got to do this, and I enjoy it. And I think for you too, having like bringing that up, that actors need to know their awareness. It's the same as like having a why. Like if you ever were to do real estate,
And I do want to
anything,
interrupt
you have
and
to
just
have
say
it.
it's the entire language is language. So what we talk about in acting is the same thing in life.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, some people are like, oh, well, you know, it's great for actors to, and it's like, no, it's just great.
Yeah.
If you feel good, you feel good. Doesn't matter what you're doing. So this is for business people. This is for people that work at a gas station.
Yeah.
And what do you want? And it's okay if that's where you want to work, and that's fine. But what else do you want?
Yeah.
You know?
And just being able to and being aware of like what your
Yeah.
goals, you know,
We're like,
maybe
oh,
it's-
actors, they need to be so aware. And it's like, no, we
Yeah,
all
it's
need to be
everyone.
aware because we're affecting people on every corner.
Yep.
If you're not aware, you may have hurt that person's feelings. You don't even know about it.
Oh, it's so true.
That's very true.
What did you just do?
I love that.
I'm just kidding.
No, but that's great, man. Congrats on being able to go out and just crushing it. And I just love being around successful people who are just doing their thing and have.
Thank you for getting me back on track with what I was talking about.
Yeah, just curve that thing right back around. And,
So that the awareness of like, oh, I need to tell this story. It helped me take my ego out of it. And I've been in LA, like we've talked about, for 10 years now, since 2008. And so I've been so busy trying to attain a manager, attain an agent, get a website going, get my IMDb going, get all this stuff going, and get my Instagram up. And
Which, by the way, congratulations, 10K followers.
Thank you very much.
How
Thank
did
very
you do
much.
that? Like, what's the process? You're so incredible and bright on Instagram, and I love that.
Thank you,
Great
and I appreciate it.
engagement.
And yours is beautiful too. I don't know how you get that color scheme going all at the same time. I literally was like writing down notes before I came. I'm like, okay, you got to look at her. Like, how does she get those bubbles up there that have all these different things, stories, and like, I thought I was on the right track. This sucks. We're all on our own journey.
I got you. Lots and lots of research and studying.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, it's so important that, again, this is probably like my motto for this whole thing right now is attain, and then go, why were you trying to attain to begin with? What was the core of it? And these people are writing in. Like, I interact with the people that I'm writing in. Take care of what you have, and more will be given. Mm-hmm. So when I was at 2K, 3K, people write in, hey, I want to be an actor. Can you help me? Well, yeah, so we don't always have the time to write out to every single person. So I do. I have a little template that I have. And it's well thought out. And if I feel like there's something that's different in it, or if I need to make it personal to that person or add something to it, that's fine. But it is a little cheat because I'm like, well, these are my thoughts. And I realized that I had kept writing it out. And it's like work hard or work smart.
Yeah.
And so I started just making sure that I was constantly interacting because I'm like, well, why did I want to do this to begin with? Why did I want to do Instagram? Well, I wanted to affect more people, which is why the podcast, which is why, you know what I mean? Because we're supposed to go one by one person at a time. Yeah. Don't worry about how many people you're affecting. But we're in this beautiful industry where we get to affect a mass if we want to. Well, what are we doing with that? And you see people and they go, oh, I hit 9K. How do I get to that last 1,000? How do I get to 30K? I'm like, what are you doing with your follow? Well, I need to get more. I know that. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
back to awareness. You're right.
What's the point? Why? Why? Oh, so I can get auditions. Why? So I can get an agent. Why?
Yeah.
So that I can tell a story and change the world. We're here to change the world.
Yeah.
And there are so many people in power that are changing the world negatively. And so that's why I wanted to come on with you guys, because I saw what you guys were doing. And we need to change the world positively. And we need more people. And I need more Instagram followers.
Which, by the way, guys, you can find him at Troy Hatt. That's TROYHATT.
Double say. I have some water now.
Of course. Wow. I mean, that is just so on point, everything you're saying. And I also, too, love the sense of you have to appreciate and take care and add value of the followers you already have.
Yes.
Because once you do that, that's when it's going to grow organically. You can't be worried about, oh my gosh, I want to hit this number. Trust me, we've all been there. I get it.
Yeah.
You know, for other...
If I don't post at 5, then what? If I don't post at 5, then what? You wait till 12 the next day. You wait until 12.
I will say, though, for me, engagement's better in the morning. Do you notice for you?
I've started to notice.
Really?
Yeah, because you take the template that somebody gives you, and then you go like, what if I thought for myself, what would happen? And then you hear what other people are doing, and you start going like, well, they're getting positive, you know.
Sure. Just got to mix and match and see what works for you. Everyone's path is different.
Just figuring out how to just reach the most people. And that's what what we've been trying to do. It's just like what... But then I think at the end of the day, too, it's like focusing on that number or focusing on that. It's kind of just better to do the activity. It makes it way more fun that we just post. We don't overthink it. And like the numbers will grow organically if we're just doing what we love and just pumping it out and not going too crazy about it. So we've been having a lot of fun. Just like, let's just put out the content, do what we love, and the universe will react.
Exactly. And you'll post an attractive photo of yourself, and it'll get a certain amount of likes. And then the next thing that I'll post is a quote. And I used to just post the quotes and then look at the likes and then change it and look at the likes. And I go like, well, why did you post the effing quote to begin with?
Yeah.
And I go like, well, it's supposed to be a sermon. It's supposed to be like, you know, and then I had to go, well, if it's not a photo of my face, then not enough people are going to like it. And I went, no, it's who's liking it, whose life has changed, who's smart enough to look at what's being posted and read it and absorb it. And most of those people go, oh, I really needed to hear that.
Yeah.
How many times does somebody give you a book and then it sits in your drawer for 6 months and then you finally read it and went, oh, that changed my life. Maybe you could change your life 6 months prior if you had just taken the book and went, I'm not reading anything right now. The answers are close. The answers are right here.
So on point.
Do you read, is that what you're going to ask next?
No, I can't read. I'm just kidding.
What do you,
like podcast, books, resources, what would you recommend? Do you have any top favorites at the moment that you're
Absolutely.
obsessed
Well,
with?
the book that really began on my journey, and I make that joke about sitting in your closet or whatever with this book that you don't read, because there was a book called The 4 Agreements. Most people know it. Some people might not.
Sure do.
And that was the book that was sitting in my drawer for 4 months with me trying to figure out where the answers are and what the answers were. And the book is so simple. You can read it in a weekend. I can read it in a weekend, and I was not a fast reader before I started reading more. Yeah. And it's like 4 agreements, literally 4 agreements, 4 major chapters of ways to see where your energy is going and where are you wasting it. There's a story about a guy who goes on a mountaintop and he goes, oh, please, God, give me more energy, please. And then God goes, why? What are you doing with the energy that I gave you? Where are you wasting the energy that I already have given you? And it's like, oh, I've been given enough energy. I don't need 6 coffees. I only need half a cup in the morning.
Yeah.
Half a cup at lunch, half a cup at dinner. I was kidding.
Break it up in increments.
It's a cup and a half.
Where maybe in the book or something that you've internalized from it, of where people would waste their energies, like in different scenarios, like.
And there's a saying, and I don't even know if you can say it anymore. It's like throwing a rock at every dog that barks. Don't throw rocks at dogs.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It means that,
Right.
you know, sitting in traffic, you honk at somebody like you're going to change their life by honking at them. Oh, that'll teach them. No, that has not taught them. that's wasted your energy. So think about how many times you do that. How many times do you get frustrated or snap at somebody?
Yeah.
How many times do you talk about somebody else because you're not confident with who you are? It's one of the major agreements is being impeccable with your word.
Yeah.
So it just means if you're not speaking in fact, you're gossiping. And if you're speaking in fact to 7 people, you're gossiping again.
Mm-hmm.
The ego has come back.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's crazy. Years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I had an old friend bring me, they were actually coasters of the 4 agreements. And he goes, every now and then I'll meet someone who I just really want to give this to. And he gave it to me. I thought it was so cool because it...
Don't give that secret away. What are you going to eat? Sorry, keep going.
No, I just thought it was so cool. And I haven't thought about that in so long, but kind of want to go back and reread that one.
I was just in Florida actually for a project that I was working on, and I told this woman, Taylor, she'd be happy that I was talking about her because I absolutely adore her, and I said, you know what the craziest thing in life is, which is what you say when you're being dramatic, because there's so many dramatic things in life that you could say. Oh, yeah. You know what the number one thing is? Everything. But I was like, you could be given the secret of life. Someone could literally look at you and say, guess what? This is the answer. And there's so many distractions in life that by the time you go to the bathroom and come back out, you started thinking about your bills. And you've forgotten the secret.
That's right.
That's the secret. Is to eliminate the distractions in your life so that you can focus more. They're always going to be there. But I think the answers are always here. Yeah. It's just about whether you've scraped away at yourself enough to be able to hear them as often as you want to. Because we all need a break.
Yeah.
That Kit Kat bar.
And well, yeah, and I think too, like even going back to books at different phases in your life, you're gonna be able to absorb. Maybe you know what I mean. Like as I've grown and like reheard, like there's people will say like, you know, about energy. Like it's my time has never. I've never put the value on my time as much as I am now in my life. Yeah. I just used to, you know, like whatever, but when you schedule everything and you value your time, very specific now. It is going to impact your life because that all ties in. Like I love just reading great books. Like the answers are in books. The answers are in
music.
It's like
the answers are in.
It's in like.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Do you listen to any podcasts right now?
Say again?
Do you listen to any podcasts right now?
You know what? This is my first, is it foray? Is that the word? Getting into all this.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So you're on one.
I did listen to a podcast actually when I was driving around doing Postmates back in the day.
Cool.
And it was about Monica Lewinsky. And immediately, you giggled, right? You giggled because there's a lot of history. There's a lot of past.
Yeah.
Well, she started talking about, hey, she's a human being who made a mistake. What would happen if you made a mistake and the entire world was watching? How would that change you?
Yeah.
And so she started talking about, I was bullied. I almost died. I wanted to kill myself. And, we're making fun. We're poking, we're prodding from somebody who just made a mistake. Yeah, it was super easy to. It was super, she made it very, very easy. Yeah. But we did that. And then once I started to realize, I'm like, of course she's a human being. Yeah. Of course she's a human being and went through all that trauma. Now she's going around speaking about bullying, about what she went through and all that stuff. And well, you know what? We're all sinners. We all make mistakes. We all do something like that, but it wasn't in the press,
Right. And what impresses me most about people who fail forward, I guess, like...
Love it. Loves it.
If you get back up and you can help other people and understand the mistake of why it happened and reinvent yourself and literally help to change the world and move forward in a better way, I mean, that's what it's all about. But if you're going to go and do stuff and make mistakes and not try and learn from it, why are we here?
If you're going to fail forward. I love that ish.
All day.
Did you coin that, or is that something you pull?
I don't know.
It works well, though.
It does work.
Oprah probably just said it first. That's usually what.
Yeah. So
as soon as I put a quote, I'm like, who said it? Just put Oprah. People will believe you.
Yeah. Right.
To bring this full circle again. the auditioning of this year, and you've been out here auditioning for a long time, and it's just one of the things I love talking about because even for myself, like in 2006 when I started auditioning, it was like getting 3-4 auditions a week I like took for granted. And as it's gotten, you know, I guess more crowded, but then there's also more platforms, which is always interesting. So I just always kind of like to hear like your opinion, being in the trenches, like what's going on, like what you've seen change in the years and like all that good stuff.
Well, I think if I were to give advice through the whole process is don't judge where the project comes from. You have no idea. And the reason I say that is I just recently worked on a project called The Ice Wolf Queen.
I was going to ask you. Okay, tell me more.
And it's a horror film, something that I'm not 100 incredibly knowledgeable about horror films. And this is my, again, foray into that. But I had a friend who I met when I was doing background work. And then he went into stunts. And then he had a medical emergency and was bed-stricken. And he had to, you know, fend for himself and take care of his family. So he goes, well, I'm going to have to write my own project. Well, he's writing this project and he is looking up at the TV and he sees me doing background work on a featured spot on Welcome to Me on Netflix. And and he goes, that's the person that needs to be the lead in this pilot.
The what?
And then he comes to me and I go, you know, I don't really have time right now to do this project. And it's just because of how it was coming about, the timing, it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to focus on paying bills.
Yeah.
And that was me speaking my truth. Mm-hmm. And 5 months later, yo, we're ready. Are you ready? Yeah, I'm actually ready now. That sounds perfect. Let's do it. And so I went and I auditioned because, you know, we still, you know, you still got to prove yourself, whether it's a friend or whatever. And they have to negotiate with your agents just like everybody else. And we were doing rehearsals. We got to shoot in order. It's just these little things that wouldn't happen if you're working on a big project with certain things. But I didn't judge it. I just went, what do I want to do? I want to tell this story with somebody who's going to let me take risks, with somebody who's going to let me have a say on how everything comes about. And he goes, well, you know, you got the part. I'm like, thanks. You know, you got the part. No. Yeah. No, I've been here for 10 years. Nobody's ever said you got the part to me in a lead role, ever. So, no, I did not expect this phone call at all. You know what I mean? You learn not to expect the phone calls. Yeah. But he's like, but I want more from you. And I had done, as you guys know, so much work on myself spiritually that I was like, oh, there was a piece of myself I was always kind of keeping just for me to take care of who I was and being in Los Angeles. And I had to scrape away at that and trust that that person would be there after I transformed into this character who was this hoodlum who breaks into houses to, you know, go on Facebook and eat their food. And then we find out that the house is haunted and there's a spiritual woman watching the house that I didn't know about who comes in and sees me broken into this house. And that's kind of how everything unravels from there. So I kind of have this saying this year, and I feel like I'm the only one talking. But
okay, go for it, man.
The saying was, you either have faith or you don't. And this year, which is kind of all comes into everything, which is there's no such thing as having some faith. You have faith or you don't. And why I say it's the same language is because as actors, we're taught, hey, have you known this guy for 10 years or did you just meet? Which one reads? Oh, I've known him for 2 months and 6 days. No, we can't play that. We can't play that character. I've known you for two days and 6 minutes. It's you either have just met or you guys have a really strong relationship or whatever relationship it is, but only one is effective. So I said, I'm going to have faith. I don't know what I was talking about.
Oh my God.
But it sounds cool.
All of this. I love that story. That is just crazy.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
And you started filming when? Or you filmed?
It's already done. It's in the can, but I about a month and a half ago we shot in Visalia in a house. It was one location.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I was like, if you're going to have faith or not have faith, I'm going to treat this like Spielberg just called. Or I'm going to just have fun and just chill out and do my thing and not take it as seriously as I wanted to. And so I just went, I have to just put everything into this.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
that changed my life because I said, you know, you've been here for a long time. You've gotten commercials. You've gotten lines here and there. But no one's ever given you this opportunity. So take it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's really awesome.
The world is just, it's all starting for you. I see it. I feel it in your vibrations, your energy, just everything. You spew happiness, and you are what
Good.
you attract. You
I
know?
used to spew BS, so that's nice. Why aren't I making it yet?
And then you two, you said you met in 2008?
2008. So I've actually known you longer than I've known you.
Burn.
Wow, that is a good burn.
Sick
there.
burn.
Crazy. But what we were talking about earlier, with true friendship, it doesn't matter how long time has passed. The second you see each other, it is just there.
You say adulthood,
Yeah.
and everyone makes you feel absolutely old. So what I want to do, and that's part of what I want to do on Instagram and everything, is play.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually getting choked up as I talk about it because I have cousins, I have family members that just come to LA just to feel that.
Yeah.
Hey, I can help you with this. I had a cousin who, she's still my cousin. I have a cousin. And she has a company called Spiral Into Control, which is kind of like fail forward, I guess. And at the beginning of the year, I said, I want to organize myself. I need to get organized because I feel that thing, that little thing that says, this is your year, but it's going to fall away from me if I'm not organized. Well, she runs a professional company. She's going to be there on the 1st. Oh my God, this is great. And she goes, can we just have fun? Can you bring some lightness into my life? And so while she was organizing and helping me organize, I'm just teaching her to it's okay to play.
Yeah.
Your life will be there when it comes back. We don't have to search for the negative stuff. It will come. So if you just have fun, just take the lessons as they come. They'll be there.
that.
Trust me.
Always.
They don't go away.
I'm such a firm believer, though. You just gotta live your life. Enjoy every moment that you possibly can. Yeah, not everything's gonna always be fabulous and perfect, but
And if you aren't, start today. Because that's all we have.
done. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm just loving all of this.
Yeah.
I love the
This is perfect, and this is the right time.
It's where you should be. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, for us to
yeah,
get to see each other again.
of course.
And was there a moment with when you were saying you were growing spiritually, was there a specific event or a moment or when did that happen and what?
Usually finances.
Yeah.
Usually finances. I was reading something recently and they were just when you're willing to do what you love for free, then the money will come after it. It is cart before the horse. That is how life works. Oh, when I get a new laptop, then I'm going to start writing this beautiful script. No, write it down. Have it on paper because you can find paper. And write it down. Get it all out because when you finish writing it, you're going to turn around and someone's just going to give you a laptop. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, the future. What's mine? No, it doesn't work like that.
Cute.
You're right. It doesn't work like that. Just spinning words, you know what I mean? And there's sayings that have been around forever and they've been desensitized by people that are, trying to keep everyone down without even realizing it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's just their egos, not who they are. But what I would like to do is take sayings, and if you see my Instagram, you'll see that I'll put sayings up and quotes up and then explain what they actually mean.
Well, on that note, I actually have one written down because I wanted you to talk on it a little bit.
Please.
Okay, Bruce
Lou?
Lee. I saw this one. I'm very
Oh,
curious.
that's great because I
Yeah.
wanted to bring it up anyway.
Yeah. It's not the daily increase, it's the daily decrease. Hack away at the inessential.
And I know what I wrote on that one. And that's because it's a saying that I see. It's posted multiple times by a lot of people. But people will post it, and it's almost sometimes to say, I know something you don't know. You know what I mean? It's see? And I'm like, no, see what? Communicate.
Yeah.
Take the time to communicate it. I posted it on my story. It's gone within 24 hours. Well, because if you post it on your actual Instagram page, it might not get the likes as a high-resolution photo of you
Right.
Topless. How do I say this? So that quote is something that I definitely live by now. And that's because it wasn't until I scraped away at all of my distractions that I truly became myself. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until all you're left with is you. And if you get to that place, again, there's a story in the Bible about, there's going to be all these fires, and the people with money will have nothing, and the people that have all the knowledge and all the heart will be left with everything. And that's exactly what it is. It's like scrape away until you're left with only yourself. And so when I did the Ice Wolf Queen, I was able to inhabit a character. And again, I put my heart and soul into it. I haven't seen the footage. I don't know how everything's going to play out. I don't know if it's going to get seen. I don't know. We don't know all these things. And so it's about scraping away until you're completely left with only yourself. And that's how I see that quote. What if someone else sees it differently? Let's talk about it. Mm-hmm. Let's talk.
Mm-hmm. But something I love too is even if nothing happened with that project you just worked on, at least you got to go and do something that you love and put your all into it. Isn't that what it's about?
It's impossible for nothing to happen to that project because the project already changed my life. You can't take that back.
Yeah, 110%. And all these experiences we go through, I think, like I always love to say, for 30 minutes every single day, we should be doing something we love, whether that's going to monetize in the future, whether it's not. At the very least, it's 30 minutes of doing something that makes you happy. Yeah. You know? Like, that's so important. And I feel like so many people forget to do that because, hey, we all get caught up in our lives. But, you know, just find 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. Something you enjoy doing. If it's singing and you're a horrible singer, but it makes you happy, go do it. If you're an aspiring singer, I don't know why I'm choosing singing, but... You know, I'm just saying 30 minutes every single day. It all adds up.
It does.
Do something that makes you happy for 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. Can you hear him snoring?
These mics are so good. I can pick up Benji snoring in the background.
I thought Alyssa was farting, and I was just going to let that...
I heard that earlier, too.
Hey, Benji. We heard you snoring in the background.
You're a very loud snorer, baby. All right, you go back to bed.
Yeah, you can go back to bed now.
Where does the carpet start and the dog begin?
I know. For everyone who can't, I don't think you can see us on the cameras.
Oh yeah,
we have a white blanket, and with Benji's white fur, we can't even see him. And you have the same. We were just talking about that Maltese.
Yeah.
Charlie?
Shih Tzu Maltese mix Charlie. Yeah,
Charlie.
Yeah.
Little Charlie.
Adorable.
Does he get along with other dogs?
Okay. Let me tell you.
Not so much.
So, Jerome rescued this dog for me, right? And so, that's an exaggeration. He rescued the dog, and then the dog started following me around, and I had never had an animal follow me like that. So I'd take 2 steps forward, and then all of a sudden, and I'm like, oh. And then I'd walk 2 steps forward, and I'm like, oh. That was my hip. And so this dog started, and then we built that relationship, but I'm like, this dog ran away. So I need to really train this dog hard. And so now the dog follows me around, but the minute another dog comes around, she just goes, rah, 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 rah. And it's not even like evil. It's kind of just in your face playing, right? Yeah. And I'm just like, a dog is going to snap back at my dog. Right?
That's exactly how I feel.
So I'm like, we have to go back on leash.
Oh yeah,
such a dramatic thing.
Oh no,
you're going back on the leash, and I need to train you on how to not do that. Yeah. So then because that's stress, and again you're like, where's my energy going, right? Yeah. Well, I'm looking at every corner because I'm like, if a dog comes around, and I live in a dog neighborhood, right? So treat in the pocket, put her back on leash. And now I'm like, I'm less stressed out, and I'm like, whatever. And then at nighttime, she runs and goes to the bathroom. I don't have to worry about it. There's not too many dogs around. She doesn't run across the street. She doesn't run away from me. Everything's fine. But in that essential morning, it's like,
oh my gosh, you're so nice.
I
bought Benji a stroller. I'm like, let's go.
For our longer walks, because he won't walk very far. But she carries him around the building and makes sure that there's no dogs because
I love your Instagram.
He goes crazy at other
insane.
dogs.
Insane.
Unless he goes into it's his territory. If we bring him over to his Aunt Kari's. She watches him, and she has 2 dogs.
2 dogs.
But he
becomes
cool.
alpha.
But if those dogs were to come
she loves to just like, I'm going to lick your face now. And I'm like, I need to post this. And she's like, I don't care. And then eventually it's like, you're right, and I should also not care.
But if any dogs came in here, he freaks. I think it's the whole territorial.
I'm curious though if Kari's dogs, because of the relationship, if Benji would be cool.
If they came in?
Yeah, because they've built that relationship. But
because he cries when he goes there. He's so excited. He loves them so much.
My dog goes, like she starts talking. Yeah, she'll start talking if I've left her too long. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Literally that same noise. We're talking about.
But it's funny. It brings me to something because you try to train the dog. You try to train the dog, or you give the dog ample opportunity to do what it's supposed to do. Act right, and then you have to eventually. Like I had to reach acceptance.
Yeah.
And it's actually, there's 3 things, and I don't remember exactly where I read it, but it was something that's life-changing, so I do want to bring it up. And when you're going through something and you're super frustrated, you wake up and you can't find something, or what you wear is wrinkled. It can be the most minuscule thing. Mm-hmm. I almost count down from like 5 minutes and go, I'm going to give myself 5 minutes to either figure out how to iron the shirt or pick something else.
Yeah.
And I know that in 5 minutes, I'm going to reach acceptance, because acceptance brings you back to enjoyment. Mm-hmm. And enjoyment is where I know we're supposed to sit. It is the happiest place. We have to figure out ways to enjoy ourselves. Before I came here, I go, I don't need a coffee. I don't need a coffee, but I want a coffee. Yeah. It just helps me focus a little bit. Yeah. And then I waited all day until I got to have this coffee. So I didn't have a coffee in the morning and then get tired and then try to, wreck my body, right? So enjoyment is where I always try to get to. Acceptance is the quickest way to get there. And then there's enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. And enthusiasm is about talking about the future. I hope the Ice Wolf Queen gets turned into a feature. It's a pilot right now. I hope, and there's nothing negative in hope, I hope that tons of people get to see it, because I've slid in some really important messages in there that I want the world to see and to hear. And then there's nothing negative in enthusiasm. The only thing that is negative about enthusiasm is the fact that it doesn't last. And eventually you come back down to earth and you have to reach acceptance all over again so that you can get back to enjoying yourself. And it's that pattern that why am I not breathing? Why is my heart racing? Why? Because you haven't accepted it. You're still trying to play God, and we are sucky gods. Mm-hmm. We are sucky gods. And people, let's leave that one alone. But yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're just dropping so many knowledge nuggets on the world.
Knowledge nuggets.
And I love it. That one's all me.
Knowledge nuggets.
I like to call them hat hacks. Oh, that one was me.
Yes, done. Well,
they're not mine. I don't own them.
Listen.
You can have them also.
You take them in and you share them, and that's what it's all about. But yeah, we usually like to wrap our shows up. I know you've already
I don't wanna.
So much. I know.
I really don't. This has been great.
Bill, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Seriously, you're amazing.
I would love to come back.
I love that.
Okay.
Even more.
Anytime.
Yeah.
We absolutely we
cool.
just.
How's tomorrow?
We're shooting
tomorrow would be Sunday. Anyways.
I'll actually be at the Emmys tomorrow. So.
Hey, we can talk about that. You gonna be there?
Yeah, we're going. Yeah, our show is nominated, so that's awesome, and a lot of the cast is. So I'm going there to support.
Can we talk about that? Me and my sister used to watch Days of Our Lives.
Really?
Like we were gonna die if we did not watch it.
Stop it.
And Kristen and everybody who used to be on that show or have switched over to other shows, but it was like. We need to know what's going on. Yeah. Otherwise, we're going to be left out. We're going to be left in the dark. So that's so cool that you're working with Marlena. Come on. Let's go.
No, it's a good gig. I mean, the show's been around, I think, for like 55 years. And I'm just starting I think it's my 8th. I think I just completed my 7th or 6th. I don't know. I lose track now.
Less intrusive than claps.
Very, very grateful in this, especially out here, like,
yeah.
Work is...
it's been very
I'm
good
just grateful
to
to
you.
be employed and being able to be a storyteller.
And you're reaching an audience that some people aren't reaching.
Yep.
And that's completely valuable
and
in
it's been
every
huge.
way.
Yeah. Very, very positively accepted, and just people like built such a wonderful, wonderful fan base of just like true fans of the character, and from us putting ourselves out there, fans of us as people too. And that's like really cool to be able to have someone become a fan of who you are and your character.
Because you really only can do that today. 20 years ago, there was no way. When I was watching my favorite actors, I didn't know what they liked. I could only read about them in a magazine.
Unless you saw them on like
And what are we going to do with that power? That's the question. That's the question.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
And we talk a lot about how, you know, the landscape of Hollywood changed a lot in the past couple of years. And there has to be good people in this industry, and there are, and they are now rising to the top. And what are we going to do with the power? What are we going to do when all the eyes are on us? What are we going to do when we have 100K on our Instagrams? What are we going to do with that power? Are we going to assist in changing people's minds and making the world a better place? Or are we just going to try and get 200K? So
that is,
you're so good.
I love the way you think, and like I just appreciate you so much coming here and getting to know you.
I appreciate you guys too. I'll be back.
And one last thing though, we always wrap it with like a life tip that we can give our audience. So
you've already given so many, and it's amazing. But
many.
like one thing that
I
someone
gave them all.
could hear right now and implement into their life today, like one life tip, it could be from.
I have it because
perfect.
I did. Michael Caine, whose book changed my life, acting in film, says prepare or tear. So I did a little bit of research beforehand. Happiness is not something that is attained. People will say, oh, you know, I'll be happy this weekend when I'm off work. No, happiness begins now. Happiness is a choice that you have to make every day, every moment. And that's where enthusiasm, enjoyment, and acceptance comes into the play, so that you can reach that happiness now and not have to wait till the weekend, because today is the only day that is truly guaranteed.
Love it.
Can
I
you
love
just
it.
come on all the time?
I would love to. Don't even put my name on there. I don't care. I just want to be here and talk.
Well,
No,
thank you so
you've opened
much.
my mind up to just a lot of different thoughts, and I love that, and that's why we are here. That's why we wanted to have
Your turn.
show. Well,
Come an intern, yeah. Come and like hang out. And,
No, I would love to. I want
this
to.
would be
Yeah, because
awesome.
it's came. It's happened.
Yeah.
It's happening.
It's happening.
you're amazing.
All right. Well,
Thank
You
you.
we're
guys
gonna
are
wrap
amazing
it. We're
too.
gonna wrap it, and
As always,
and
guys,
thank you all,
again,
yeah.
everyone can find you at Troy Hatt on Instagram.
That's correct.
Anything
That's
else
the best
you need
place.
to get out there?
No, actually, that's the best place.
Okay,
I
good.
try to make that a place where you can branch off and go wherever you want. My website, troyhat.com, it's under construction, but it's something that mostly is used for the industry. It's where I post reels and stuff like that, so that people can see my work and stuff like that. So that's all on the way. But I just started a YouTube channel today, and that's where I'm going to be posting more videos. That's Troy Hatt Official.
Yes.
Or as I like to call it, official.
yeah.
Sound it out.
And
All right.
we'll and for the YouTube and Facebook, we'll the
Absolutely.
video, we'll tag that for everyone.
Thank
to
you. I
come find
appreciate it.
so.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You're the best.
Love you guys.
Thank you for coming by. Love you. All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon. You or